What's up, world? Lee here with Sticks, Strings, and Other Things, my teeny tiny itty bitty little corner of the internet where I come to you every other week to chit chat with you about all of the crafty things that I've been getting my hands onto. This is episode 76 and I am filming on January 23rd, 2024. Coming to you from a very, very sunny Pacific Northwest, as you can see. I've put the blinds up, but, or down. Closed. I have closed the blinds, but the sun is still getting through. So I have some striping. I figure I am starting this later in the day than I normally do, but for me to wait for the sun to go away would mean filming it very late, and that's not going to happen. So welcome! Welcome! If you're new here, I hope you like what you see. I hope I am somewhat palatable to you. And if you are a returning person, you know what to expect. I mean, maybe. You at least have an idea. You're not going into this blind. In my brand new, that I got over Christmas from my cousin and her partner, cat mug, I have just some green tea. It was a basic green. I wanted something simple and easy this morning, and then the morning got away from me, and so now I'm having something easy at noon. Yes, like I said, the morning got away from me. It is already noon. And right, let's get into it. What have I been getting my hands onto? If you've been here before, you may want to sit down. I have fully finished some things. I know. I'm trying this year. We will see. So first off, I finished this one last year. It is Got the Morbs by Modern Folk Embroidery. I put it in a giant, jehugent, enormous frame. And it's as close as it's going to get to even. That's just where we're going to leave that. Technically, everything is equal. It doesn't look it, though. It's driving me crazy. And this side, I swear, is higher, but I've measured 1,000,000 times, and it's not. But visually. So here we go. Got the Morbs. Giant frame. Love it. Absolutely love it. Is this frame ridiculously sized for this tiny piece? Yes. And I love it. So, for the days when you've got the Morbs, it overwhelms you, and the frame overwhelms. So therefore, I've got the Morbs. Love it. Love it. Did it myself, as you can tell, because, yeah. Really, it is even. I swear, it is. It really doesn't look it, especially on this side. This side looks lower. Anyway, I'll stop pointing out the to me obvious flaws, and to you probably also obvious flaws, and just say, hey, it's done. I like it, and it's ridiculously framed, which I also like, and it's going to go up on my shelf in my craft room, and yeah. Actually, maybe I'll put it in the living room. I don't know. Haven't exactly decided where it's going to go, but there's that. So there's one. Oh yeah, there's my back. Disaster. No one's going to see it, so who cares? So there's one. I have a second fully finished cross-stitch item. Yep. From the Black Needle Society, they're doing a Celebrate All Year piece. And I have painted and put together the Chantel 141 Chantel piece, and do not look too closely at my exacting gluing because we're just going to pretend that everything's equal. And I have finished the National Hot Tea Month celebration, and it is there. 1 of 12. 1 of 12 is now done. And I have yet to get the next one because it's not February yet. I finished it before February. finished it before February. It's painted, it's put together, it's fully finished, it's put on there. This is actually sitting on my piano. I know. Who am I? It's a new year. Don't fall over. It's a new year. New me. Maybe I'll finish things this year. It's possible. I did actually wash and block like 5 items last week. Since I've already shown them on here, I'm not bothering showing them again, but I actually did it. So there's that. What else have I done? I finished a couple things. In my knitting, I finished my Fractious Cowl by Isolde Teague. This marker right here shows where I was 2 weeks ago. Boop. So it has been washed. It has been blocked. It has been posted on Ravelry. It has been put into the Farmer's Daughters Fibers finishing thread. And now I have this lovely cowl. I like this kind of cowl because the stitch count didn't change. Just this part takes up more space than this part, or eats up more stretch. So without doing anything, it gets larger. So when you put it on, which I will, you just have a nice little cowl that can sit around the neck. It's really nice. And I love it. Just kind of soft and cozy. And this base from Farmer's Daughters Fibers was a new one to me this year. I don't know if it's new to them this year. And I'm blanking on the name of it. I'm blanking on the base name. But it is really soft, which is actually, focus, why I used it as a cowl and not socks. I thought it was too soft for socks and would like it near my face. So I made the cowl and followed the pattern exactly, made no changes, used the called for needle and everything. It's lovely and it's soft. Very happy. I also finished my Laura's Frisian Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. I've been calling this my, I swear on this channel, and if that bothers you, I'm sorry. This is my fuck it sampler. Because look what she did with the letters over here. Like, over here, everything's going just fine. All the letters across the top, everything's doing lovely. And then I swear, she was told, you need to finish another alphabet before you can call this one finished. And she said, fine, I will. It just shoved them all in there. And I absolutely adore this piece. It's so fun. It just makes me smile. Just makes me smile. All those just shoved in. I put them in letters. Love it. So there is my Laura's Frisian Sampler. So I finished and started and finished this sampler this month. I used Speculoos, 40 Count Speculoos by Roxy Floss Co. And I used the Roxy Floss Co. threads as well that were charted. And it was 1/2. Now I can cut that out of the extra piece and put this in the box of shame until I figure I can do something with it. That's what'll happen. I've also been doing a daily 100 piece. So I'm pulling out a piece and I'm working on it for 100 stitches every single day. I've tried this before. Last time I tried it, I was doing 24/7. And for some reason that bothered me. I don't know why, but it did. Doing 100 stitches seems less tedious somehow. It makes no sense, people. It makes absolutely no sense. But my brain, sorry, I'm not going to put that there because I keep shaking you. My brain is more happy doing 100 stitches a day than 25 minutes. Who knows why? Anyhow, I finished my first project doing that, and that would be Ruskin's Penguins by Modern Folk Embroidery. Apologies again for the delightful sunshine we have. It's January in Washington State. We are not supposed to see the sun. It's not supposed to exist. It's supposed to be pouring down rain like it was yesterday and the day before. But no, 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 no. Today, the day I want to film, we have sunshine getting everywhere and bothering me. I live in the Pacific Northwest for a reason, people, and that would be not seeing the sun for a few months. I'm one of those strange ones. I don't like the sun, and I would rather it be rainy. But there is Ruskin's Penguins. I did this with Roxy Flossco flosses, and it is on Bestitch Me's Scotsman, is the colorway. 40 count. I did this 1/2. And I just think it's so sweet. Those penguins are adorable. And this one can also have the fabric cut off of it. I'm trying to do that right now. I know. If you've seen my finish box, my shame box of shame, you know I don't cut pieces out of the linen ever. But I'm trying to now. So we'll see. We'll see. So before those get put away, I will cut them out. And I have, yes, 2 fully finished items and 3 finishes. I'm doing pretty good this month, I think. This month is successful. So let's get into whips. I have a couple. First off, I have my new 100 Stitches a Day project, and that would be Witch by Rovaris. I have a bunch of smaller charts and things that I want to get finished this year. Actually, they're not all small charts. I have a list of things that I want to finish this year, and I have put them on a wheel, and I've been spinning it. And whatever comes up is what I work on next. After I finished Ruskin's Penguins, out came Witch. Sorry. Storing the black thread right there. When I pulled this out, I had this part of the W and this piece right here, and that is all I had finished on this piece when I picked it up again. So I have finished the W, I've finished the bat, I've done the I, and I've started in on the pumpkin. The pumpkin, I am using a color from, I don't remember. It's an overdye. I don't remember. I had some extra overdyes and I just pulled them out. The black is an Anchor Black, and this is 40 count. I don't think I know what the fabric is. I think it's a Bestitch Me. Let me see if I have any information on this. Oh, it's 40 count Peanut by Bestitch Me. I wrote something down once when I started this last 2 years ago. And yeah, so 100 Stitches a Day has been giving me some good progress. I'm almost done with the pumpkin, but not completely because it's got a little black top, and my needle minder is a cute little pumpkin as well. This is 40 count 1/2. And I'm very much enjoying it and making some really, really decent progress. It's being stored in, well, it's being stored in a book sleeve, and the book sleeve is Leonardo da Vinci, because he wrote backwards with his left hand, so it seems very witchy to me. Or it was free and that's just what I used. Your choice to figure out which it might be. Loving it. So good. I don't know if you can see the lighting in here is so weird with the sun. This is a variegated overdye cotton thread. I don't know how much you can see the variegation on there, but he was a little annoying to stitch. I kept making mistakes on his mouth, and for some reason I wanted it to be exact. Didn't need to be. It's a jack-o'-lantern. They can be as wacky as you want them to be, but no, I wanted him to be right. He is now. It just took me 3 tries. I don't know why I needed it that way, but that is what I did. I also have my 2 Whip Go calls, because I am doing Whip Go this year. Sorry, I have them a little farther away than I wanted to. I am doing Whip Go this year because, well, why wouldn't I? And I failed it miserably last year because I had it too loose and it didn't matter. I was just counting stitches and I didn't have even themes for my ideas of projects, so that was too loose for me. So this year I am doing it much more strictly. I have 5 days on each piece that is called, except for my full coverage where I'm wanting to do, right now I have a page. I have a feeling that will turn to half a page or less. It depends on when the first time it gets called, how much I can get done. With everything else I'm trying to do, I think a page is absolute insanity to try and get done, so that will change. However, I have worked on I've worked on 2 of my WIPCO calls. I finished one of them, and it lives in here. This is Jane Reese by The Scarlet Letter. And you can sort of see the project right there. I've had this started for years. I've had this started for a long time. I started it for my birthday 3-4 years ago. I don't recall. All of the alphabet has been done for a while now. I finished that a couple years ago, or last year. So the entire alphabet is done. So the part that I've been working on this year is the borders. I had all of this border, and all of this border. I had started in on this border. As you can see, I did the first bit of each border so that I could actually cut this fabric off the giant piece of linen that I had it on. It was just in the way when I was working on it. So I came down and figured out how big I needed the piece to be. Last year or the year before, I don't remember when. So when I pulled this out for my 5 days of stitching, I finished this band and these other bands. I'm loving this piece. It is so good. I am doing this one 1/2 on 50 count fabric. I don't know where it came from. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember who the maker is. It's just an antique white 50 count. And I am using Vicki Clayton silks in a perfect red variegation. And let me just pull that forward so you can see those lovely borders. Ah, so good. And this is on my WIPGO either 3 or 4 more times, I don't recall. I originally had, and technically still do, have this on as a finish for this year. I don't know if that's actually going to happen because I think that's a little more than I can get done with all my other plans. However, I will be working on this, like I said, either 3 or 4 more times with WIPGO, and I made some decent progress during the WIPGO days that I worked on this. Feeling really, really good about this piece. And I liked working on it. I was getting a little tired of the alphabets by the time I finished the end of the alphabets, which is why I got put away. But the borders I am loving because each one is different. I mean, technically the alphabets were all different too, but it was just ABCs again and again and again. I forget how many there are. There's like 40 odd alphabets. I love alphabets though, so anyhow. Looking fantastic, and I love this piece. I cannot wait to have it finished. I will be framing this one. I want this one on my wall. I am very much a process stitcher and process crafter, to be honest, but this one I want on my wall. I am not allowing myself to start like the 3 other Bristol samplers that I have until this one is done, because it seems ridiculous to start another Bristol sampler when you're already working on a Bristol sampler. Anyhow, there's that one. The other WIPGO call, so that was WIPGO call number 9. So the other WIPGO call was number 22. And for me, number 22 is living in this bag. And it is C Street Samplers, I Sigh Not for Beauty. I am so sorry about this lighting. This lighting is... And here is my progress for this one. When I picked this up, had all of this square part of the border done. I have worked on this for 2 days so far, so this still has 3 more days for my WIPGO. I am hoping to get all of the flowers in for this portion. And who knows if I get more done. If I do, I'll do more of the border. I am doing this on a 40 count pear by Lakeside Linen and using a Vicki Clayton silk started this years and 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 years ago. It had not a lot done on it when I quit stitching for a while, and when I picked it back up, I had just a little bit of the square border. I finished the rest of the squares last year, and then this year I am hoping to get the entire border done. And another year I will get to the center. Right now, I am super enjoying it. I have lots of flower stems going right now. Like I said, 3 more days on this WIPGO call. I think this is on my WIPGO board only one more time, which is why I think I will only be getting the border done. Looking good. Yeah, Lakeside Linen, people. Back when you can get it easily. That's been a while. So there is that. Let me put it away. And now my next WIP is living in here and starting to be a little too full. I really should move this into a different project bag that would fit it, but I haven't, and I don't know if I will. But I really should have, because this is too small for a 5 skein shawl. Yes, this is my Glittering Snowscape shawl by Stephen West. It's West Knits design. I am using a kit I got from Stephen and Penelope, and I'm using, I can't pronounce this, I'm using this yarn. And I don't know how to pronounce that maker, but I'm loving the yarn. It is a single. I will only use single yarns. It's a fingering weight single, and I will only use those for shawls and other things that will not have a lot of wear on them. Maybe a hat, but I don't think singles are good for garments. I don't think singles are good for socks or mittens or anything like that. Maybe a cowl. Even then I'm not sure, because cowls tend to go inside your jacket and it can get rubbed on. Anything that has any kind of wear, I'm not a fan of singles for. But a shawl? Oh yeah. And I have been working on this one a lot. I am using a US size 4 3.5 millimeter needle for this, and I've done a lot of work. Last I was here, I had made it to this portion. I had just started doing this slip stitch section with the second color. I'd also only just gotten into the second color. So I've finished that slip stitch section, finished the ridges, did the mesh section here, some more ridges, did these pillar section. And this was the 3rd color that came out. Here's where I added the 4th color, and now I am in the granite lace section, and you can't really see much of it yet because I've just started it. After the granite lace section, I have another of the ridges, and then I start the border, which will be done in the 5th color, which I haven't wound up yet. I am loving this piece though. I know a lot of people had a hard time with the arrowhead lace section. I didn't. It was right here. I counted well, I guess. Didn't have any problem with the mesh section. I haven't had any problems really so far. And I'm hoping that stays true, because a lot of people were complaining about the granite lace section, which is the one that I am currently on. Just marking my rows so that I can show you where I am next time. Oh, look how large this is. I can't show it off very well because my needles aren't long enough. Oh, look at the colors. Oh. Glittering Snowscape. And I am not someone who usually uses the light knit colors, because I'm messy and drink tea and tend to spill things on myself. But I just loved the frosty feel of one of the kits that they had special for this project, and it was completely sold out by the time I got online, because it sold out like in 2 seconds. But this This kit also had that feel, and I just went for it. So this is my first color, and it is just a nice creamy white. Color 2 is that same creamy white with all of these luscious chocolate brown speckles. Color 3, again, that creamy white, but now they've added in this pale icy blue. Color 4, which is the one I'm currently working on. Again, still some of that cream color and some of that icy blue, but a lot more dark blue, and the chocolatey speckles are back. The next color is more of just the dark blue. It is a beautiful fade, is what it is, and I am enjoying it. Oh, let me show off my stitch stoppers. I figured if I'm doing an icy, glittering snowscape shawl, I really should have appropriate stitch stoppers. Hot cocoa was definitely the way to go. Because what is better on an icy, cold, snowy day but hot cocoa? Nothing, I say. Nothing. Anyway, loving this one. Loving this shawl so much. Guess I should show you the right side. Loving the shawl so much. It is, oh, so good. The rows are getting a little long. I will say that. That is one downside to any kind of pie or half pie shawl, is the rows get very long. Apologies. Someone hadn't cleaned their memory card in a little while, and so the camera ran out of memory, and therefore it stopped recording. I don't know who that someone could have been. Anyhow, all I was saying is pie shawls and half pie shawls get very, very, very long rows after a while, and this one currently has rows that are over 400 stitches long. So it takes a bit. Again, can I say it again? And I'm going to say it again, I don't care. I love this shawl. I really do. It is fun to work on, and I'm enjoying the yarn. I'd never used it before, as I stated. Can't pronounce it, but I am enjoying it. Let me put it away in the bag that is just about not fitting it anymore, because I mean, it doesn't really. So that was on my whips, but I do have 2 new starts, one for stitching and one for knitting. So let's show the knitting one, since I was just waxing poetic about all the knits. Living in Here, in my Dark Alice bag by Slip Stitch Studio, is a new pair of socks. I am doing a pair of socks for a friend, and I am using Kamarose Yaku. It is a 100% superwash merino wool, luscious and soft, which does mean that I am also using a reinforcing thread for the heels and the toes, because otherwise 100% superwash merino doesn't hold up well for socks. And this is the colorway I'm doing. It is such a good purple. And here is the sock, the first sock. I haven't made it to the second yet. I am doing the Petty Harbor sock pattern by, who does that one? Raina Curtis. I've always rather liked the Petty Harbor. It is essentially just a broken rib pattern, but it gives a nice texture and look to the sock. And I'm trying to show you the pattern, the texture that is hard to do on a dark color. I have finished the cuff, leg, heel flap, gusset, and I am working down. Well, I don't think I've actually finished the gusset. I have a couple more rows to finish the gusset, and then I will be finishing the foot. These are for a friend, and I think they will like their socks when I get them to them. Always gotta have a pair of socks on the go. It's a requirement, at least in my world. And I love them. It's great. It's a 50 gram ball, so my friend has huge feet. I hope I don't need extra. Yes, this will be for one sock. I have a second 50 gram ball. I actually have 3 50 gram balls in this color. I don't know why I have the third, but I do. And if I need it, hey, I'm set. If I don't, well, then I have an extra skein. I really, really should. I have tons of stitch stoppers. I should put stitch stoppers on here. Oh, and I'm using just a 2.5 millimeter Hiya needle. That is my go-to usually for socks, and it is a 72 stitch sock because my friend is a male and men tend to need bigger socks. It also means it's going to be a bigger foot. Hurrah. The foot's going to go forever. But I'm enjoying it. It's working up lovely. I wish the Kamaro's Yaku wasn't discontinued, but it is. So, which is sad because, oh, that's a nice yarn and oh, it would make a really good sweater. But it's discontinued. So the odds of there being enough for a fingering weight sweater in any color is very low. Anyhow, there's that. Sad. Living in a very wintry bag is my 5th start for 50 by 50. 50 starts by 50. And this is Winter Wonderland. I started this a week ago before I found out they finally are reprinting this one. Hooray! I am so happy because I know so many people love this chart. Well, it's getting reprinted, so hooray. I have had this kitted up for, well, since it came out, which was 2009, 2010. I'd never started it though, but I now have, and now you can too if you love this one. So I am using the Called For Everything, which is a 30 count, I don't remember what, and it's all Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts. I have started just the border, and there's my needle minder. It seemed appropriate for the piece and the bag and everything. So this is my 50th start for my 50 starts by 50. My 50th start. This is my fifth start for 50 by 50. All of my starts have to have a minimum of 250 stitches for me to call them a start. And yeah, here are all the threads. I have one Roxy Flossco thread put in here in case I feel that the oatmeal is too light for the house. But I'm thinking the oatmeal will be perfect. I think this one would be too stark. Yeah. Yeah, I think the whitewash, is it whitewash? Weathered white. I think the weathered white would be too stark for this piece. I think the oatmeal will be just fine. Oh. But I'm leaving it on there in case I change my mind. Such pretty colors. I love these colors. Now, as I said, I've had this kitted forever. So some of those colors may not look the same anymore. I have no clue. My pea pod looks exactly like this one because this is when it was kitted up. But I know later skeins sometimes look a little brown. Yeah, this is 30 count dark chino linen. I am doing it 2/2 on that fabric. Whew, there we go. Words are hard. And it's an R&R reproduction fabric. So yes, this one is 2/2. I'd forgotten. So many of my projects are 1/1 now that 2/2 is big. Feels big. But I don't mind working 2/2. And I'm loving the color and I love it on this fabric. I do not know if that will come out again this year. A lot of my starts, I have no intentions on pulling them out again this year. Ooh, I've got a floof. I've got a floof. Not sure where the floof came from. Where was I? Oh, right, my starts. For my 50 starts, I don't know if they will come back out again. Some of them are getting finished. Some of them are not. Some of them are just starting. Some of them are, it's where the whim will take me this year. And that is all my fully finishes, my starts, my works in progress. That is everything. So let me get into, sorry. That was the chart for Witch. That's why I made the face. I'm like, don't show the chart. I know better than that. Apologies. I don't think you could see anything. Even if you could, yeah, apologies. That was, I need to put my chart with my project. I don't need to show the chart to you all. Lee, bad girl. I'm going to do a quick bit of plants. Hiccup. Excuse me. So my plans are, well, to finish my second WIPCO call, my plans are for the C Street Sampler I Sign Out for Beauty, my WIPCO call number 22. I have 3 more days to work on that, today and the next 2 days. So I will be doing that. I will be working on my 100 stitches a day on my Witch. I will be knitting on my Glittering Snowscape shawl and stitching on my socks. When I finish my WIPCO call, I will be pulling back out my Modern Folk Embroidery. Something got on my fabric. Oh no! I'm gonna have to play with that. Something got on my fabric. Tragedy. Tragedy. Big tragedy. I'm scared now. Something's on my fabric. Okay, I'll play with that. I will be pulling back out my Modern Folk Embroidery No Time Like the Present stitch along because I have not yet gotten through January's part, but this will be what I pull out after. Ah! What is that? I don't know what that is. Nervous. I am nervous now. I also have plans to start more things next month. 50 by 50 people. 50 by 50. So what are my plans to start? I have put things into my giant stitching basket. And some are going to be easy. I will be starting the second Celebrate All Year. So that'll be going on this fabric. It lives in here. So I will start that when it comes out. I'm still contemplating starting some of these tea pieces because they're cute and I want them. So they have stayed in the basket. Winter Rose Manor has also stayed in the basket. Scarlet Unspoken has entered the basket. I am really tempted to start this. I have had this kitted up forever. I have had this kitted up for ages and ages on a 32 count lamb's wool Joblin, and it's so pretty. So this could be a start this year. This month. Where's the other one? What Remains is Love, Blackbird Design. This is the back of the chart. I have it in here. Weird. I bought this when it was being kitted up through the Canadian store that I don't remember the name of, and I have the Fibers to Die For Borrowed Time silk option because I've never had those silk thread. I've never used those silk threads, so that is an option. Oh, come here. I Love You to Death is an option. This is Forbidden Fibers, Absence and Desire. That is an option to start. And then, because it will be the month of February, focus, thank you. It will be the month of February, and Carla does a bee theme, like be your own Valentine kind of thing. Stitch along. That would be the thing I'm talking about. She does a be your own Valentine stitch along for the month of February, and therefore you should stitch on something that has a bee. So with that, I am thinking either Be Kind by Chessie and Me, I might do that for that stitch along, or Sweeter Than Honey, Pinkeep. I'm really tempted by this one because these bee skeps over here are just adorable. Those are my two thoughts for that. Other than that, whatever goes in my basket will also be whatever is called for WIPGO, as those numbers have not yet been called. I don't know what those two things will be. Those are my plans, stitching-wise, for the month of February, because it'll be February before I see you all again. And knitting-wise, I will be finishing my glittering snowscape shawl, or working more on it. The border for glittering snowscape is time-consuming if I go by what everybody else is doing. So that may take me the month of February. When my Farmer's Daughters Fibers yarn comes in for February, I will be probably doing a pair of socks with it, because it will be a sock. It's a sock yarn. It's a sock. It's the Sock Squad. It's a sock yarn based monthly club that I'm in, and the base that is coming next month is more suited to socks, in my opinion, than this month's was. So I will probably be making a pair of socks with that one. I also really want to start the My Reading shawl. I'm looking over here because that's where the entirety of the yarns are. It is something that will be used for one of my advents from last year. And here. This. I even have my needles ready, and I have my needle stuck in this side because I'm going to start it from this end. The advent went this direction. I'm going to work the advent backwards and have this be the top of the shawl. I really want to start it, but I don't want to start it until I have my glittering snowscape wrap shawl finished, or at least a lot closer to finished. Then I don't have two giant shawls on the go at the same time. I mean, I already have more than one giant shawl on the go, but two active shawls on the go. Apologize if you can hear Schrodinger. He is my robot vacuum. It is one of the smart robot vacuums, which is why we named it Schrodinger, because he is smart and stupid all at the same time. Anyhow, those are my stitching plans and my knitting plans for the next month. Who knows, other things may pop up and may occur. I do not know, but those are the basic ones that I have right now on this 23rd of January. Now I'm going to get into a little bit of stash. There's not going to be as much this year, she hopes. But there is some. One is something that I should have showed last time, but I didn't. And everybody's been showing it. It's the Cottage Garden Samplings Fabulous House series. I am purchasing them. So I already had Santa's house, and here is the castle. I have seen the greenhouse is the one up next. I do not have this one on a auto ship because I wasn't sure if I was going to love all of them. But so far I like them all. I need to get a better look at the greenhouse, but we'll see. I love the castle. Love the castle. When will I start these? I don't know, but I like stitching houses, so who cares? I also purchased the Plum Street Samplers Winter Moon. I have the first two, so I had to get the third. The first two, I had to get the second. That makes no sense. I got the first. And it's packaged so pretty. Look what they did with the yarn. It's not yarn, it's floss. Look what they did with the floss. It is so pretty. So pretty. And I just love the bunny. I just love the giant bunny on the house. I'm very much enjoying the Winter Moon pieces. I received my December Fox and Rabbit Spinifex. Oh, it's a good color. Oh, I love Fox and Rabbit. I love their linens so much. They're so pretty. So I am in their floss of the month. It's a fabric. I'm in their fabric of the month. And this was December's. I'm still in Stitch Me's, but I might not stay in Stitch Me's. I don't know. And my last two things are yarns. I have my Knit Spin Farm. I have moved this one to being every other month. So I'm going to be getting all odd months for Knit Spin Farm from now on because they are piling up and I thought I would lessen that. This one is called Oology, which is eggs, if you don't know. Oology is the study of eggs, bird eggs to be exact. So this is even stripes of Cuckoo Martin, which is the dark brown, Robin, which is blue, Baltimore Oriole, speckled tan, Tree Swallow, and Mockingbird. So there is the picture that came with it. So oology is the study of eggs, particularly bird eggs. Though collecting bird eggs is now illegal in many places, it was a hobby for wealthy Victorians. Bird eggs are identified primarily by color and size. The shape of a bird nest can also be a clue. The study of nests is Caleology. The range of eggshell colors comes from different minerals, and colors and pattern help camouflage eggs to hide them from predators. So this is the Targhee base, and I love Targhee. This is January's club. I did not change to the odd month part until after I'd already paid for February. So I'll be getting January, February, March, but after March it will just be every other month. And oh, I'm tempted to start these. I say that every single month with my yarns, don't I? I'm tempted to start these. I haven't had a fingering weight stripy sock on the needles in a while though. Maybe I will. And then did I need another knitting bag? No. Did I get another knitting bag? But at least it's not a fat squirrel bag this time, so it's sensibly sized. Isn't it pretty? Isn't that pretty? Oh, it's so pretty. Look at this. This is Ginger Twist. Sorry, Ginger Snap. Why did I say Ginger Twist? It's Ginger Snap. Look inside. And I got it with the sock set. So this is the Lunar Sock Set. Mini skein is Blacklight Reactive. Main skein, sorry, not mini skein. Main skein is Blacklight Reactive, dust fingering weight, and has these two luscious minis. So when I make this pair of socks, this will be the cuff and the toe, and this will be the heel, and this will be the main sock. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to do something. And it was these colors. I just loved these colors and this bag and these colors with this bag. And I had to. Because look again at this bag. I love it. The whole moon cycle here, the snakes, the blackberries. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. But that is everything, which isn't too terrible. Not too great, but not too terrible either. Right, so that is all my stash. So what about the endy bits? The endy bits. I am still watching the ends of some Vlogmas, Flossmas times. I am trying to catch up with people's whip parades and trying to not fall too far behind in people's normal Flossmas or vlogs and podcasts and all of that. I have been enjoying immensely all of the new people that I have started following. There's been a couple, I'm blanking on names right now, because my brain, and I didn't write it down like a fool, but I've been enjoying all of it. I have been busy. It was cold. I think we all know that in the United States. It got very, very cold. I realize I'm in the Pacific Northwest and I am not in the Portland area, so I had it easy comparatively. There was no snow, there was rain, and there was a tiny, tiny bit of slightly icy. I had to heat up my hummingbird feeders. I had to get the heat warmers on my hummingbird feeders because otherwise they were rock solid ice, and I don't think hummingbirds very much care for popsicles too much. So I had my hummingbird feeder warmers on, and it was cold. It was really, 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 really cold. We are not used to those levels of cold in Washington State. But, one second. I was talking about the cold. There was one thing I found delightful about the cold. I'm a knitter. I pulled out all of my knits. It was fantabulous. I got to pull out my Alice Velopi Selbu mittens, and I wore them on a walk, and my hands were not too hot. My hands were warm and toasty and happy, but not too hot, which normally I can't wear those in Washington State because it's too warm, but I got to wear them and they were perfect. And I was wearing my woolly wools, and I had my woolly sweaters on, and I had my woolly hats on, and I had my woolly scarves on, and I got to glory in wearing all of my hand knits. It was a delight. However, it was cold. I'm glad it's not so cold anymore. I am glad we did not get what Portland had, which was ice. Freezing rain. Not a fan of freezing rain. Hate freezing rain. I will take we don't get tons of snow, so I will take inches and inches of snow over freezing rain every single day. I am sorry, Portland. I think you've thawed out now, I think, but I don't know if everybody has their power back yet. It was quite a thing. Quite a thing. And I'm glad that I only dealt with very, very cold and not the other negative parts of being very, very cold. I was lucky that I didn't have any pipes freeze. Not everybody I know got the same joy in that. Yikes. But we did learn that our house is much warmer now in the basement and my bedroom after we fixed the giant hole that was in the wall that we found when they ripped the deck out. So this last summer we had our wraparound deck replaced because there's only so long you can get away with the strategic placement of flower pots so people don't fall through your deck. Only so long you can pull that off. And we had reached that point, so new deck. New deck went in. New deck is awesome. Love new deck. But when they ripped up old deck, we saw on the side, underneath the deck, a giant hole into the house. Yeah, no wonder critters kept getting into our walls and our attic because they had a highway. You could fit small children through it. It was a big hole. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. You could fit children through this hole. I could almost climb through this hole. It was a big hole. So we fixed that. While the deck was ripped up, we went, hey, could you leave this open for just a little bit while we fix that? And they went, yeah, we're happy to. I mean, it's not their job to fix that. So we just asked that they gave us a little time. Like, and so we fixed it. And weirdly, not having a giant hole in your house keeps the weather out better, and it was much warmer downstairs and in my bedroom. than it had been last year, when last year wasn't as cold as this year. So I'm very happy for that. Very, very happy for that. But really, the weather is the only thing interesting that's been going on in my life. I have a very, very laid back life, and I'm going with that this year. Going with laid back. Oh, I do have a word of the year. I do. Oh, let me take down my lovely thing. This is my word of the year this year. Pleasure. Yes, pleasure is my word of the year. Why is pleasure the word of my word of the year? Because I want to focus on those little pleasures that are so easy to kind of not ignore exactly, but we don't always pay attention to them. Like a nice mug of tea at the end of a stressful day. That is a nice pleasure. The sound of silk going through fabric is pleasurable. The feel of yarn as it slides through your fingers as you knit, that is another pleasure. The pleasure you get from looking at the work that you've put into a piece. The pleasure of anticipating what next you might stitch on or knit on. The pleasure of planning what your goals might be for the year, or not if that's not what you enjoy. So I wanted to focus on pleasure this year. Those little things that bring a smile to your face. The random phone call from a friend that you haven't heard from in a bit. That just makes you happy. Just pleasure. So that is my word for the year. Pleasure. Drinking your tea out of a ridiculous cat mug. Pleasure. I mean, did you see the chef cat? Did you see the chef cat? There is a chef cat. And a bow tie cat. And a French cat. Just simple pleasures. Just pleasure. Right. I will be attending the Gathering of Nuts on Sunday, but I will be doing it from my own home because that's the ticket I purchased. So I was lucky enough to actually get my package in the mail yesterday, and I was kind of astonished that I'd already gotten it because Acorns and Threads, which is where a Gathering of Nuts is held, is in Portland. And I am amazed that they could get anything done the last couple of weeks with what was going on in Portland. So the fact that I already have my package, I'm like, wow, I hope no one risked anything to get those out. I would much rather not have my stuff and have people be safe. But I got an email this morning saying, yes, we are sending things out. Everyone local has theirs. Yikes. And I'm all, wow, take it easy, people. It was awful out there. But so I'll be attending the Gathering of Nuts via Zoom. And I have an idea of another start that I might do. I don't know if I want to do the start this month or next month, and it's not in my basket because I might wait till the sal is finished before I start it. It's an Odyssey sal. It's the Odyssey, as in the Odyssey, the story of Odysseus, and it's a whole thing, and I have thoughts about it. I want to do it on this fabric with black thread, and I need to pick out a red and maybe an orange because I kind of want it to look like ancient Greek pottery colors. And I'm not ready to start it yet. This was not in my plans at all this year, but I have 50 starts, so I can plan whatever I want, right? And yeah, I don't know. So many things, so many desires. Right. this has been a little rambly at the end, and I kind of got distracted by things, and I don't know what happened or why that happened. I think it's because I finished my tea and I desperately need more caffeine. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'm going to edit and upload and do all the things so that you can watch this all tomorrow. And yeah, we're gonna go with that, and I will see you all in 2 weeks, at which point it will be February, and who knows what will have happened by then, and who knows what I will have started or not started or gotten more work on. I cannot wait. I can't wait to get the blues. There's blue flowers. That's what I'm doing today. Today is Blue Flower Day. On that sampler, not blue flower as in the designer. I've now confused myself, so I'm gonna go.